Hey AI, how do we prepare our kids for the AI revolution?
Listen closely if you want your kids to be okay. You're still trying to prepare your children for a world that no longer exists. For most of human history, the future was uncertain, but the skills were stable. If you taught a child to farm, to forge, to sew, to bake, to build, those skills held their value for generations. But that era is over. Today you cannot predict what the world will look like 5 years from now, let alone 20. You cannot guarantee that coding, finance, medicine, engineering, or any job that exists today will remain human work by the time your child enters adulthood. The only certainty is uncertainty itself, so the most important skill is not knowledge, it is adaptability. Not expertise, but emotional intelligence, mental resilience, and the ability to navigate constant reinvention. Because the future you are sending your children into is unstable, volatile, and accelerating. The old promise, learn this and you'll be safe, no longer applies. Your children will need to rewrite their identity, career, and purpose again and again across their lives.
Y'all don't like AI because y'all don't know how to use it. Tell me why. I just taught my daughter how to speak in a full sentence within 30 seconds of her watching it. I've been trying to get her to learn how to say, my name is Dea. She'll say it, but she's like kind of hesitant with it. So I was like, let me make it fun, like how Miss Rachel, Blippi, and Mika do when they say their name. So I created an AI video of me teaching her how to say her name and spell her name and her birthday. If I asked her what her name is, she'll tell me. If I ask her how old she is, she'll tell me. If I ask her when it's her birthday, she'll just say June. But in this video, I put everything in there, and she literally learned just that fast.
Look at this beautiful girl. Her name is Dea. Let's spell it out. D-A-I-Y-A. Your name is Dea. When a new friend asks your name, you say, my name is Dea. Let's try it again. D-A-I-Y-A. You're doing so great. Today is special.
Kid y'all not. I showed her that video 2 times, and she was literally saying, my name is Dea, just that fast.
Why do you think AI belongs in the classroom?
Yeah. I think when people think about AI in education, they picture this dystopian, like Terminator robot teacher in front of the classroom, no human interaction. There's all kinds of, scary ideas that come with it. It's absolutely not true, right? What we're using artificial intelligence to do is be able to assess what a child knows and doesn't know, and then create these lesson plans.
I remember when the first internet came. My dad opened up and said, hey, man, this is the internet. I'm like, wow, what is that? So kids are learning what AI is way before adults are starting to grasp it, and they're getting it at a younger age, and it's going to change the way society is in the next 5, 10, 15 years.
Well, welcome back. A new American school is revolutionizing education using AI. Alpha schools are at the forefront of a growing movement, providing students with a more personalized education experience using AI, this advanced technology. The school replaces a traditional classroom using AI tutors and adaptive learning platforms to identify students' strengths and where the gaps lie in the curriculum. So far, the results have been outstanding. Students scoring in the top 1 to 2% nationally in math, reading, science, and language. Joining me right now is the co-founder and the CEO of Alpha Schools, Mackenzie Price. Mackenzie, great to have you.
Maria, thanks for having me. There's nothing I like talking about more than education because it is the most important resource we have at our disposal to help young people be successful in this new world.
Absolutely. And I was talking to someone yesterday about the fact that it's been education and healthcare that have been impervious to any changes in technology for a long time. But
now let me slow this down. It's $40,000 to go to Alpha School. They've already, and Alpha School's been out for the last year, man. So when I was researching it, it's been out for the last year. But this, it goes deeper. $40K to put your kids. Now we're going to see, I keep telling people we're going to see not just the rise of the have and have-nots, but if you're spending $40K to put your elementary school, middle school, high school students through an AI learning curriculum, because of the way it's set up, it's going to outpace, hands down, kids that learn traditionally.
suddenly AI is actually moving the needle. Tell us about Alpha Schools. What's most important for us to understand?
Well, our traditional education system was built out of the Industrial Revolution to create workers. And now in this new AI world, it is so important that we create individuals who are dynamic, adaptable, and most importantly, have the skill of learning how to learn. So at Alpha, we're using artificial intelligence to raise human intelligence. Our students are able to get the level and pace of academic knowledge that they need, meets them exactly where they're at. As a result, we see student growth exponentially go up no matter where a student comes to us. And we're doing all of this in only 2 hours during the school day instead of a traditional 6-hour academic school day. And then, of course, that begs the question, what do you do with the rest of the day? And our answer is that we teach life skills, leadership, entrepreneurship, financial literacy, public speaking, relationship building. Those are the skills that are going to help kids be successful. We also are teaching them how to use tools like AI that they're going to need to be rapidly successful at learning.
And now, why is that important? I mean, I was listening to TikTok and this kid was complaining about, he said, and he was legit right. I feel that same thing. I felt it in public school. You tell me if you felt it in public school. I know my son's feeling it in public school. And he's been in private and now back into public. He was in public, then went to private and went back into public, trying to get the feel for the best environment for him to learn in. And dude, honestly, it's like they spend like 6 to 8 hours in school, depending on if it's sports and other things and study hall and all those other extra things. He's a high schooler. And learning things that they can get in 2 hours. You can literally learn what they're teaching in 2 hours if you're focused. And if anything, I think these kids don't even have, I don't say they don't have, but who wants to take 4 hours, 6 hours to learn something as an adult that you can learn in 2 hours? So we're teaching them inefficiencies just as kids. And she stacked on top of that the way that our public school system was created, our school system, the school system that you pay money to, whether you're renting or whether you're buying, whether you own a home, because money goes from there to the local school in your municipality. It is taxed. Your kids spend 6 to 8 hours to sit down there and learn something and learn in 2 hours. And what's worse than that, most of them aren't learning anything, because in that public school system, based in how it came about, it came to create workers. Now we are changing the type of worker that's being created coming out of school. I don't know, after 100 years, you have places like Yale, Harvard, Princeton, if they will even be a factor in the next 15 to 20 years, because AI and how you need to really know how to think with AI. Really need. I learned and had to relearn how to program an AI agent properly, because it's evolved from just the prompts. I remember when people were just throwing out prompts. We were at real estate conferences. They were like, yeah, here's a prompt. You need a prompt. The prompt to tell is a prompt. Those prompts don't mean shit now. They don't mean anything. And what's more crazy is that they're charging people. This is not even part of the same public school system that our tax dollars fund from owning real estate. They're not charging. They're charging. This is a private school. Public school needs to catch up.
A school in Texas is using AI to teach the 3 R's. No more one-size-fits-all lessons. Janet Shamlian has tonight's Eye on America.
They're pioneering education's new frontier. Every click, every keystroke at Austin's Alpha School is guided by artificial intelligence.
Right now is considered, of course, schools time.
Students like 8-year-old Alina Boyce spend only 2 hours in the morning on science, math, and reading, working at their own speed using personalized AI-driven software.
And what they learn after this, I'm going to stop this real quick because I didn't even mention this in the last clip. The soft skills that are learned in some ways are more valuable or as valuable as the hard skills that you go to school to learn. See, people, we don't teach soft skills no more. So when you checking out in a checkout line and the person checking out is just rude, they don't greet you, you paying for the thing at the store they work for an employer, but they don't care. They just had a bad morning. Those soft skills are tied to emotional intelligence that I even tell real estate agents they need to master. They need to get in order, because nobody wants to work with you when you just are screwed up in an attitude, or your emotions take you to somewhere where you shouldn't be. These kids are learning financing, how to manage money, what money's like. They don't teach that in school. So the more that these AI schools become a big thing, I believe is going to put a gap between the kids that go there and they know AI, or the kids that learn AI independently, that are proficient in how to use the tool. It's going to separate them a lot. And so you think a lot of kids coming out of school now don't know how to read, don't know how to write, certain things that they don't know how to do that we learned how to do. It's going to get worse.
Right now, at my age level, I'm supposed to be 4th grade.
Okay.
But science, I'm in like 6th, 7th grade.
You are?
Yeah.
Very curious to see if you can slingshot this.
Adults in the classroom are called guides, not teachers, and earn 6-figure salaries. Their job is to encourage and motivate.
I like that. 6 figures. Teachers should, especially if they're good teachers or good counselors and they're good with education and technology and they can communicate a topic clearly.
Can an algorithm replace the expertise of someone like yourself?
I don't think it's replacing. I think it's just working in tandem.
Afternoons are different. Students tackle projects teaching financial literacy and public speaking. Life skills, founder Mackenzie Price says, are invaluable.
What advantage does the learning that you're employing here have over traditional schools?
There is such a huge advantage when students can be met at the level and pace of learning that is right for them.
Price was not an educator before starting the school in 2014. There are now 16 campuses and big backers. The education secretary visited last month.
You're turning the learning over to a laptop. What about the importance of an educator in a child's life?
So our guides are not teaching academic content, but they are connecting. In fact, every week, every one of our students gets 30 minutes of one-on-one concentrated time with their guides. And during the workshops in the afternoons, they are connecting and interacting in a group experience.
Tell me what you think if you're watching this live or either replay. Tell me what you think. Because at the end of the day, I think a kid probably needs more than a 30-minute a week interaction with an adult. And I know the adults are in the room. I see the guides in the room guiding them, but I think more of a counseling session should be more like an hour, half an hour a day, honestly. I would say if you're getting 6 figures, I think you need to talk to my kid more than half an hour a week. I think you need to talk half an hour at least a day, rehashing what you learned that day, going through how you interacted with the model, what's your likes and dislikes, things you will want to change. Kids are smart and they see these things, and they know.
That progress isn't cheap. Tuition at Austin's Alpha School starts at $40,000 a year.
How is this applicable to standard education?
We recognize that there is a huge mountain of challenges that come in a large public system. So what I hope that Alpha can be is an example, an inspiration, and help families understand that this model of education is something that can work.
So this model of education, I personally feel, is going to shape, like I said, the way that young people study. Because we got to look at this differently. We've been taught historically, memorize information and then regurgitate it in a test. That's basically it. So in high school, we used to have a little thing like this. Yeah, okay, you write like this. Put it under your shoe. Put it under your arm. I've seen people cheat on tests so many crazy ways in school. But imagine not having to cheat, because the AI will turn around from there and will teach you it at the pace that you need to know it at the level, the watered down concept that will trigger an understanding in a person's brain. Okay, that is the biggest thing, because information is learned through repetition. We learn through repetition. We don't learn just by getting information one time. Oh, I got it, I learned it. Nah, you learn it through repetition. this is an IBM breakdown. If you don't follow IBM, you really should be following IBM AI. It's a great channel just to follow, period, if you have questions on what AI does, what is it, just the details on it.
AI is changing everything, including the way we learn. I'm an adjunct professor, and the first time I saw what a chatbot leveraging generative AI could do, I knew immediately there was no point in assigning essays to my students to write because I'd only be grading chatbot output, and I don't need the practice. Most educators took the position that AI should be prohibited from student use entirely on their assignments because it would do all the work and the students wouldn't learn anything. Well, many have also tried to use AI to detect AI, but it's inevitable that chatbots will keep improving to the point where there's nothing left to detect. I'm thinking we need to do the exact opposite and figure out how to embrace this technology and use it to elevate education. I'm hoping others will start thinking this way too. Look, the train has already left the station. We can either get on board or get run over by it.
And he's not lying. Like my kids, I remember a private school, we had them in before we took it out because it wasn't a great private school. We were wasting money. And the reality of it is they were using an AI scanner to scan if the kid's assignment that they told them to write was actually created by AI. And I thought at that time, I'm like, cool, yeah, they're maintaining the integrity of the assignment or the learning curriculum. Say that 5 times. But at the same time, I kind of felt like, aren't you kind of stifling? Like, if you got to use AI to find out if the assignment was AI, why can't we now turn around and use AI and find out if they learned anything using AI about the assignment that was given? So this is clear. Learning is going to change if it hasn't changed already. I don't think people have caught up to how fast it's changed and what it's changing and evolving into. Most of us go to work, we come home and work, and I mean, the reality of it is, who has time to sit down and just listen to how to run and set up a AI agent on your computer and use it for extra tasks to make your life easier? Unfortunately, that's the society that we live in, and I recognize it. Not everybody has the luxury of sitting home and streaming every day, Monday through Friday. But worse than that, have the luxury through everything that we go through, paying bills, dealing with kids, balancing all the other stuff in life, to learn AI. But I said this to a client of mine last week, and I hope I didn't offend her, man. I really didn't intend to do it, offend her, and I don't think she was offended. But then in a way, I thought she was really a little impatient. We have to learn the language of whatever we're endeavoring to do. And to learn that language takes time, because it's just like going to China. You can't go and speak Mandarin. You can't go and speak English when everyone speaks Mandarin. That's the same concept when it comes to business. I had to listen to enough business podcasts to get my mind in that place, to understand the language, to understand what it meant, and then to actually physically put my hands in it. And when they said, you mean this is a expense sheet. Oh, this is profit loss statement. Oh, same thing with technology and with AI. You don't have to spend hours a day, but you have to touch it every day in order to now begin to train your brain, that so you don't get information presented to you on YouTube or any of these other channels, and it's presented by AI, factored and manufactured by AI, and you can't identify it. So you're looking at something and saying this is false information, right? This is where AI is going.